Welcome everyone. Welcome back to Samantha McDonough's Bikini Podcast. IFBB Bikini Pro, Samantha McDonough. Just kidding, don't call me Samantha. And today I have my special guest, Chelsie Miller. Welcome, Chelsie.
Hello.
Let me give a little intro, which I have pre-written. Okay, here's my intro. Here's how it goes. Chelsie competed. Oh, today we are going over the girl power and the Wasatch Warrior. And Chelsie competed at Wasatch last year, baby. And you will see her beautiful picture in the thumbnail. So she competed there last year, so she knows the stage. She'll tell us if it's squishy, if it's hard, if there are gaps in the footing. She'll tell you how far away the judges are, so you're about to get to know the lowdown. And Chelsie will be a recurring guest on the pod, on my little pod, and we're gonna recap shows. Maybe we'll preview shows together, and also big round of applause for Chelsie because she just got a scholarship at her PhD program. So I'm so excited to have this woman, this businesswoman here today. And Chelsie, is there anything you'd like to say?
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, so we just spent about 4 hours on the phone together with going over these shows and watching them together. So let's get into it. Okay. So first thing that happened, should we go over girl power? Girl power just ended, so let's go over that one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if I want to share my screen, if I want to share a little video. Okay. So Here's what I have. So here's how the stream went. Okay, I'm pulling it up. I will not show all of the stream because I don't want to take away from the promoters and also get copywritten. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah. If you want to watch the replay, go to Center Podium live stream. And
okay.
Yourself.
Okay, cool. You're myself. Okay. So here, okay, can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just break it down. So I have notes. Chelsie has notes that I took for her, so she's going to decipher them because I was dictating she was dictating and I was scribing.
I was not watching this while I was driving.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't, and that's not even going to get reported to your insurance because nothing even ever happened.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
A seamless transition from Denver to Fort Collins.
And that's just a hop, skip, and a jump and a live stream away. So, okay. The show started, and in our first comparison group, the first people we saw were Ariel, Ari, and then someone who I didn't put in my preview because I couldn't find her on NBC News Online. She must have a different last name or something. Liz Cloud. So I'll just say really quick what stood out to me when these people came in. And Chelsie, do you chime in? Is that what we do?
Sure.
Okay.
It's your channel. I'm just here for the vibes.
Okay. So Ariel comes out. I just wrote Ariel. Okay. And then Ari comes out. I write Ari. The things that I had feedback wise were she's tighter than last time. I would like her to run a little brush through her hair. And it felt like maybe a little something was missing for me. Like she's pretty wide up top. And the lower body, I wasn't getting the same fullness. So that's what stood out to me about Ari. And is that all I wrote? Okay, that was my initial thought. So what did you think?
Okay, I actually thought she was, like, stunning when she came out.
Okay.
I like her stage presence. And I am reading that you wrote, ooh, there we go, so good.
Yeah, that was a quote. That was a direct quote from you.
Honestly, I think that I agree with you about the shoulder width. What I noticed when they came back out for their like confirmation round, it looked like Ari's right shoulder was like pulling back more, so it looked like the shoulder size was out of balance to me. That's what I noticed. And this is just like initial, so we can go through
a little first look.
Other initials, yeah.
Okay. And then Ariel, I must have written something about Ariel. I guess I didn't write anything about Ariel till later on. I have this split up into initial thoughts and then call-outs. But what stood out to me with Ariel is, so I said in my last preview, I've always thought that she like tucks her pelvis, which makes her lower abs pop out a little bit, and makes her look more narrow on the lower body than the upper body, so it takes away from that hourglass shape for me. It didn't look like she'd put on significantly more size than the past, which honestly I don't even think is a bad thing necessarily because she placed 14th at her first Olympia, which was in 2023. And they only placed till top 15, and then I think there were like 55 people, nearly like in the 50 range at that show. So she doesn't need that much more size to be successful. However, I do think, of course, there is a big gap between 14th place and like winning an Olympia. So I do think more density is necessary, but she has maintained her shape and flow to her physique in the past year since she's been on stage. Because last show she did, she got 5th place at San Diego Championships in 2024. So I would like to see a little more arch in her low back, and that could also flatten her stomach as long as she's pulling in and up with her stomach. I wonder if she just is keeping like the center part tight and is not controlling the low abs as much. Makeup and suit I thought were great. I didn't love the suit on the stream, but her suit looked really good at, it's the same one that she wore at San Diego last year. So I think that, and it looked pretty then. So I think the suit is actually good. I would just like to see some more overall density. It looks like her shoulder width, like clavicle width, is doing a lot for her in terms of shape, but if she had a more narrow clavicle, we would be saying she needs more shoulders. So does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I didn't realize she was doing this like right when she came out, but to me it looks like she's leaning back. Like I almost wonder if all of the things that you just said would be resolved if she would just bring her bent elbow shoulder forward a little bit more. Because it kind of looks like she's leaning back a little, but I get it. Like she needs to bring her front ribs down. I think that would help a lot. And again, the arch in the back, like you said.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. I also wonder if it looks like she's leaning back because she has such like really great development in her lat here, and since that's flared out, but her pelvis is tucked, I wonder if that's making it look like she's leaning back too.
It's possible. I do notice just her standing next to Ari because they were in the first call out. Spoiler, sorry. Her quad development looks a little bit more prominent, but I wonder if it's just because she's slightly more conditioned than Ari is.
Yeah, she's definitely more conditioned than Ari is, and Ari is someone who needs to bring up her quads too, so I think the contrast is even a little greater.
Yeah.
And I would also like to see her open up her hips slightly more to the judges, like so we could see a little more of the front of her suit bottom, and I think that would add to shape in the front pose.
I think so too. And maybe that would also alleviate what we're seeing with the wider upper body leaning back situation. Because it might even force her out of that pelvis tucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah. And then looking at Liz. Oh, I wrote a lot of notes on Liz, I see. Okay, so Liz is right here. Liz caught my eye. She was standing out to me. I wrote that I couldn't find pictures of her in the preview, which I already said. Loved the suit color.
I do
Great
too.
shape. Like, she has a lot of shape. And she is not, like, she's not crazy muscular, but, like, this just goes to show that your structure can take you very far in bikini. Like, the amount of muscle she has versus someone like, who's a more muscular bikini pro that does really well, off the top of your head, Chelsie? Jordan? Brandon?
Yeah, Amy does too. She has a lot of muscle for her frame. She's very small. Small but mighty. Tiny but mighty.
Tiny but mighty. Okay, yeah, so she looks like she wouldn't, and it's also interesting because she's pretty tall, but she like, and we'll see her in the first call out with, spoiler, Alice Roca.
To be honest, Liz kind of reminds me of Lacey Rutland.
Yeah.
A little bit. In a good way. And Lacey is a newer pro too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she went pro in 2024 and won the overall at Junior Nationals.
I think so too.
Because I think 2023, Alice won the overall at Junior. Tall girls are ruling. You know what? Going back to our earlier conversation, maybe Junior Nationals. I mean, Junior USA's, not Nationals. Okay, yeah. So that stood out with Liz. Hair, makeup, suit, perfect. Tan looked great.
Yeah.
And what else did I say? Okay, yeah. So I'll show you the back pose for all of these people. So when they turn to the back, I'll start with Liz because we're already talking about her. Mm-hmm. Suit bottom was okay. Tell me, when I zoom in, tell me if you can see that I'm zooming in on her. Oh, okay, well, I can't. I can't zoom in, so question
It actually looks like it zoomed out.
Okay. Okay, awesome. So, okay, let's see. Actually, maybe they even put the photos on NPC already. They did for Wasatch, it looks like. Okay, but what I was gonna say with Liz is that her suit bottoms are too small. You can see that shallowness and the upper outer glute.
Sam,
Um,
can you scrub to see if this is her full back pose? Because right now it looks like she's leaning forward.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, why don't I just do that? How about I do that? Okay, I think that
Why
is
don't
her
we
full
get
back pose.
everyone in their back pose, please?
Yeah.
You.
Okay, yeah, I think that is her full back pose. I scrubbed.
Okay.
So yeah, okay, so suit bottom exposed too much of her low glutes, so I would like to see more coverage in that suit bottom. Like a pro cut instead of this like micro cut or whatever the cut up from that is that has more fabric.
Yeah, she either
It
needs a
made her glutes
bigger
look
cut
flat.
in her suit or bigger glutes.
Or bigger. I would potentially even say more muscle all over, which
Yeah.
will result in bigger glutes, but for now, this season, more coverage.
Yeah.
So yeah, and when she walked, because I believe she did walk in her individual, it flattened her glutes, and her glutes looked notably flatter than other people's because you saw where the glute attaches to the low back.
Yeah.
And
I
then I
have
wrote hair too much on the shoulders. What's your take?
Oh, well, I have the same note about hair is too much on the shoulders, but I think she's adorable.
Yeah.
I think from the front she is amazing.
Hmm.
I think that she would benefit a lot from more muscle all over though. But I think do you know if she has any plans to compete like later this season?
No, because I couldn't even find this girl on Instagram. Do you think I'm
Liz, we
blocked?
need your Instagram, we need your website, we need your we need
We
your
need to know
email.
your suit cut.
We need everything. We need to be friends.
Yes. Would reach out if you're interested in friendship. But very balanced. Like very like she needs a little more size, needs like more coverage on her suit bottom, but a very balanced physique. Like nothing is standing out, which is good, except for like how awesome her front pose is.
Well, and
Okay.
stage presence too. Like I think
Yeah.
that goes a long way. I know you can just tell when someone looks like they're glowing on stage, and I feel like out of the people who we're seeing currently, Ari and Liz stand out to me in that
Agree.
respect.
Agree. Okay, and circling back to Ari and Ariel, so I'm gonna scrub to see if Ariel's in her full front pose. It did look like she was just very bent forward. Okay, and she's off center. She's not in like, center.
I've
So
been
Ari's
noticing across both shows today, the stage awareness is kind of lacking with some
yeah,
people, and I don't know if I'm not like super familiar with Ariel, and some of the other pros that we saw that were kind of doing this too. I wonder if it's just because they're newer, or more nervous or something, or maybe they're not used to the stage setup. But I just think like proximity wise, it's not seeming to register.
yeah, I hear you. Yeah, Ariel went pro and then qualified for the Olympia in her rookie season.
Wow.
So, and then she made it to the Olympia. I think it was that, or it might have been the next year, but like her first actual rookie season, she made it to the Olympia. And so, yeah, she hasn't competed that much compared. I mean, I'll check. How about I tell you how much she's competed?
And I'm over here like honestly, I feel so judgy, but this is fun for me to learn about. So thank you for giving me the historical background, Sam.
Oh my
You're
God,
so good at
thank
that.
you. And yeah, I always worry about being judgy. So
No, I'm
I
literally
hear you.
what credentials do I have to be talking right now? Like I'm literally an amateur athlete, competed 3 times, but you know what? I'm really passionate about it and I love learning, and that's what I love about our conversation. So
I feel the same. I feel the same. And wait, okay, I'm wrong. She's been to the Olympia twice? What?
really?
Okay, I am so sorry, and I'm glad we've corrected the record.
Me
Okay,
too.
I'm wrong. So she went pro in 2021 at Junior Nationals and then did her pro debut, got third place at Patriots, and then got first place at Battle of the Desert, and then went to the Olympia, got 16th. So I was totally wrong there. Did not qualify for the Olympia the next year. Then 2023 got first place at Governor's Cup and got 14th at the Olympia. So, you guys in my comments, feel free to come for me when I am lying to your faces. Okay. Okay, yeah. So Ariel just needs more density. So I'm wrong. She is actually very seasoned, so that takes away from the argument I made about her stage presence or stage awareness.
Well,
Um,
and I understand too that everyone has their bad days. Like,
yeah.
and this isn't even a bad day. She looks amazing. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something to note. I think we have a. It's hard, I guess, to actually practice this though, because unless you have like a group posing class, or you have a bunch of girls that you get together with, or you compete frequently, it's hard to gain that stage awareness if you're nervous. Or and it seems like she's been, in an improvement season for a while, based on what you just told me. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're so right about that. Some things you just don't find out till you do the show, and then you look back and not, I mean, I'm talking about me, like when I do my pro debut, I'm sure I will cringe. And I'll also be like hyper aware because now I like make videos critiquing people. Um, but another thing that goes into what you're saying is it also depends on where the judges are. So like if the judges table is further away, you don't
right.
have to angle in as much because they're already at a distance. So angling in will could actually hurt you because then they're seeing like one side of you that is more prominent to them. Looking at the table here, it looks like angling in isn't totally necessary based on this
Yeah.
distance. But like at the Arnold, Amy Delgado said, Tiny But Mighty said that judges are like right on you, basically, because the table's so close. Um,
Interesting. Yeah, that
okay.
must be tough, I think,
Yeah,
as a competitor.
yeah. And then Ari, the thing I wrote is I would like to run a brush through the hair, but if she did that with this hair, the hair would be too long because in call outs, her hair was covering her glutes a little bit. Okay, moving on. Okay, so we have Kiki comes out. I thought her conditioning was great, and she fixed the suit top. I was thrilled. She didn't have any underboob going on. She pulled the suit low enough that it would cover that. Like insert. I've heard that it's like an actual implant issue. Still, I was like, maybe we could still pull it down though, and she did. So success. I doubt she got the implant fixed in the last 2 weeks. So I was thrilled to see that. And then she covers her glute. There were a couple times where she would cover her glute when she was in her front pose.
Hmm.
In her individual routine is what I wrote. And I would like I would like a bigger suit bottom, or what I say? Maybe a bigger suit bottom because it looks like the suit bottom only appears up top and not really in between the glutes. So I might like a little more coverage, and it would also cover up the fact that she needs a little bit more upper outer glute, not by much, but a little bit. So that was my thought with her.
Her hair is really
What was
long.
your
I'm
take on
noticing
Kiki?
this right now. Her hair is really long and full at the bottom, and so I feel like that's hiding her waist in the
Usually I
background.
would agree with that.
Hmm.
However, Kiki has a very short torso and her
Yeah.
waist and genetically her waist is wider. So from the back, it is about the same width as her hips. So I think it's actually the right call here.
Yeah, that's a good point. The only thing that I wrote for her was lower tummy control or just
Yeah.
better core control overall in her front pose. Um, I noticed it a lot in her individual routine.
Mm, okay. Yeah, that's huge. And that is like the whole if she were in a top two and the other person were holding her core and she wasn't and she weren't, then it goes to the person who like apples to apples, but they're holding their core. So
Well,
it becomes very important.
I'm wondering if that was part of the reason why, I mean, Vanya looked amazing at the Olympia, but
Hmm.
I'm wondering if that was part of the decision-making factor because I remember Ashlyn and Amy both having problems with belly control, and Amy even said it in a podcast that she was on too, that she was having a hard time with that day,
Hmm.
and they were working those girls. But
Yeah.
I mean, it could distinguish you from first to second in a competitive lineup.
Agree. Totally agree. And yeah, I think for Vanya it was definitely that and also just overall like
Yeah.
better like posing.
There
She's
were a
just
lot
has
of
everything.
reasons
There were,
why she
yeah,
won.
yeah. Vanya is wow, she's unstoppable. Yeah, I'm totally with you. And that's a video that since that stream was free, then that's the video I tell my posing clients to look at when they're drilling their comparisons at
Oh,
home.
that was the Arnold.
Yeah, that was the
I said
Arnold.
the Olympia. That was the Arnold. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, it was the Arnold. Yeah, strike that from the record. It was the Arnold. I was there. You and I were on the phone. um, okay, moving on. And I really was exuberant about the suit top being fixed. There are about 8 exclamation points after that. Okay,
Well, it
Jessica
makes a
Julius.
big difference, and honestly, I love the
It
green on
does.
her. I
Me
think
too.
it goes really well with her skin tone, and honestly, I'm impartial to green. So
You have leaves in like all of your
I do, and I have
usernames.
leaves on my wall right here in my
Yes,
office.
you do. You are my earth goddess. Okay, moving on to Jessica Dolia. So this is her first show in sort of a while. Like, I think fall last year was the last time she competed. So Jessica made it to the Olympia in 2023. And then last year she worked towards getting to the Olympia, but she was getting in like those second and third callouts. I think she got a couple first callouts, but it just wasn't really her year.
She
Since
competed
then,
last year, it looks like, at the a couple of times.
mhm.
In October, September, August, two in August.
Okay.
But the pictures that I'm seeing right now are from Nashville Fit Show, and she was wearing a different color suit.
Yes, yeah, she changes up her suit. Um, okay, so the things that she changed, her hair, she wore like her natural hair. The hair was really cute. However, and I don't know that longer hair would have helped her placing at this show. Um, so the things that stood out to me with Jessica were the upper body. Upper body is very dominant. She might even be tucking that pelvis a little. Her waist is crazy. Her waist is like sucked all the way in. It is like I am shook by her waist. However, with I would probably relax the lat a little bit because that's making her look more upper body dominant. The makeup is a little bit light,
Hmm.
so not quite glam enough for me.
It's
Um,
giving geisha.
are we allowed to say that?
I don't know. What is?
Um,
Isn't that a? They're a professional female entertainer.
Oh, are
In
they? Okay, yeah,
Japan.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. So maybe it's giving a little of that. I don't love the suit. I don't love the dark stones on the suit. Um, yeah,
Oh,
I don't love the suit.
like the what do
Ombre
they call
thing.
it? Like the burst? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like
Okay.
when there are these like dark stones studded on like red suits. It's not for me. Um, but okay, okay. What was I gonna say? Okay. Um, where does it show me? I wanted to see something on this video. Okay, whatever. So anyway, um, the other thing that I noticed is, okay, when we turn her to the back, also pretty wide through the upper body, and the arms pointing out is making her look even wider.
Yeah. I think that to your point about the longer hair, I think it would have helped her from the back.
Hmm.
Um, but also it looks like she's flaring her lats actually.
Yeah, it does. I agree. I agree. And all that with like the shorter glute insertions too, it just makes
Hmm.
her look broad and then like smaller on the bottom overall. Even though she has great pop to her glutes look really good.
They do.
Um, okay, and then we have okay, and oh, okay, and I'm gonna go to her individual really quick. She was doing a couple poses that I was like, she was squatting into the legs. Can you see that?
Yes.
And then opening up really big, like right there.
Hmm.
And then she does this physique that's like this, like a women's physique light kind of pose. And she held it like it was a pose. So I struggled with that. Okay, yeah, there was that. And then going into let's talk about Ilaria. So here's Ilaria in the center. Um Okay, Ilaria. She stood out for me, like stood out hardcore in that front pose. I don't want her covering her shoulders with her hair. She doesn't have such developed shoulders that they're out. She has a very balanced physique. So
Hmm.
I didn't love that. The reflection of the velvet suit, I also didn't love, but she looks great. The red is great on her. I would like a little more glam in the makeup. It just seemed a little one tone. Um, and her glutes stayed pretty full when she was walking to the back. She needs more size on her glutes, but they looked pretty full. Gorgeous bikini shape. And I said not very glam, but maybe it was from a distance, is what I wrote. What do you think?
I love the red on her. I love the way the velvet is actually reflecting. So that's a conflicting opinion here.
Yes.
I did think that, like, comparatively, she is a smaller person. Just size, like, height wise, but also, like, overall muscle. But she is very balanced. And I think her stage presence was really good. Like,
I
she
agree.
looked, I don't really know how to describe this. She looked very poised and really happy to be there.
Yeah. Really great energy.
Mm-hmm.
And that does a lot.
Yeah.
And we'll see later that she worked her. So there was an 8-person first call out, 8-person second call out. And she was like kind of in the center of the 8-person second call out. And then she ends up placing, I think 5th or 6th. I couldn't tell because we had it on mute, but I
Oh,
think
yeah.
5th. Let's see if the results are out.
I think her
So
tan
she
is
worked her
light.
way up in those placings and knocked out 4 of those girls who were in the initial first call out because she like did not give up on stage, had great presence, and like just was able to hold her posing conditioning.
Yeah. I forgot to say her tan is really light. Um,
Yeah.
I noticed it a lot on her feet. I know this is like becoming a common thing now where people kind of like fade their tan out onto their feet, but it looks like she doesn't have any.
Okay.
So to me, it was kind of a stark contrast, but I don't know if it's just lighting on this live stream too.
The lighting does seem a little harsh, but I also hear what you're saying. The lucky thing is that Sandy has said, if I make it to your feet, then something's going wrong with your physique in the first place. So hopefully,
Fair.
yeah.
Yeah, I think overall, like her tan just looks like it's a different color than the other girls.
Yeah.
But again, that could be like the disadvantage of us watching from a live stream and not actually being there in person.
Agree. Agree. And I think red also can kind of fuck with what someone's color looks like on stage.
Oh, interesting.
Um, the velvet in particular. Uh, okay, looking at her back pose, same thing. Like she's very balanced. I would say the glutes are a little out of balance, like more upper outer glute, but whose feedback isn't that, you know?
Yeah,
So
I'm wondering if too it might just be a mobility thing because the size of her glutes looks similar. It just kind of looks like she's tilting to me.
yeah, I agree that the size of her glutes looks similar to the width of her legs, but I want to see a little more of that taper into the legs.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Um,
That.
okay, and then Marioli, right here in the pink, I thought she had a great back pose. I didn't think the front and the back totally matched. Like she was a little bit harder in the front than she was in the back. The pink I thought was good because she is a harder athlete, so the pink softens her up a little bit.
Yeah.
And I would like to see more fullness in this shoulder.
I thought her hair was too long in her back pose.
Okay, yeah, let's look at her back pose again.
And she was also doing like a weird knee bending thing, but I only noticed it in her individual routine and not in the comparison rounds. Like she's not doing it here. But I have a note written down that she was bending her knees a lot in her side transitions.
I agree with you on that. And oh yeah, I wrote that she looked like she was a little flat in the front pose, specifically the upper body. And about her individual routine, I wrote that it looked like she was going in slow-mo. It was like
Yeah.
very slow. So I think the knee thing was probably even a little more obvious at that point because she was like really, you can see what I mean here. I won't let it play for too long. But
Yeah. We're all for flow, but this is slow.
yeah, it was yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think
Um
there's something going on with the angles that wasn't, I didn't like it.
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Um and I'm ready for these scorecards to come out because I don't know how she placed, but she did well. She was in the first call out. I'm trying not to bring people up unless they were in like that first and second call out, by the way, if I didn't make that clear.
Well, I want
Um
to point out too, like her stage glam is beautiful. Like the curls of her hair, like it's kind of giving like Marilyn Monroe, like old school very pin-up-y, but in a
Hmm.
good way. Like it's coming across professional.
Yeah, if I looked like Marilyn Monroe, all of my movements would also be in slow-mo. I'm no, I'm with you. I agree. Meryl is she's gorgeous. Yeah, I'm totally with you. Okay, this girl, I did not catch her name. I'm so sorry. But I thought she had a standout front pose. When she turned to the back, she was a little soft, but she was
Mhm.
a second call out girl.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add.
Okay. Okay. Okay, moving on to Nade. So Nade, best her front pose has ever looked. I think she could angle her hips a little bit more at the judges, but that would risk losing some of this shape in the upper outer, or in the upper, just the glute in general, the glute profile. Um, but yeah, I thought best front pose ever, best mobility Nade has ever had. Also the most confidence she's ever brought to stage. I'll show you a little bit of her individual, but like really,
Yeah.
really exuding confidence at this show. Best she ever has. Back pose, incredible. Looked a little bit soft at the bottom of those glutes, but I noted specifically that she doesn't like when she moved specifically. I think part of that is she has longer glute insertion, so like they will get a little bit of a squish sometimes. And if they don't, you might be a little too lean. But the other thing I wrote is that her glutes were no softer in the tie-in than Ari's were, and Ari
Right.
won.
Yeah, I agree. Um, I do find it interesting that in her front pose, her foot is completely horizontal.
Well, let's check that out. How about we do that?
Like I
Yeah.
understand that she's trying to show the size, but I'm wondering if that could also be achieved, like the side glute pop,
Hmm.
if she pointed her foot more forward. Because I don't necessarily think that she needed to have as much quad width as we're seeing here. Um, but especially when you can angle the shoulders back a little, if you're worried that your upper body is going to be dominating.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I think that, yeah, she could, um, it probably wouldn't make much of a difference. Let me look up and see if she ever has
Okay.
done it without that. So she competed in 2023, correct? Yeah, here she is.
Hmm.
At the Olympias where I'm looking. Okay, I'm not seeing an angle there in her foot. And if I go to the show that she won, uh, okay, here she is where she does a little more of an angle. So let me share this with you. And I think it looks good. And she won her show doing it like that. So, okay, let's share this photo with you. Okay, share screen. And I'm going to share this photo. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's extreme. That's on the opposite end of the spec, but it does still give her shape, like you said.
Can we see her upper body in this?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
tilted
her
forward
front pose
still.
has completely changed, actually.
Yeah.
Um, I wonder why.
What do you mean, why?
Like, I don't know. I feel like she would still look really balanced if she just pointed her toe more at a 45-degree angle. Like, I don't think you need an extreme in either direction
I
because
agree.
now she has more size.
I agree. I don't think she needs an extreme in either direction. I think so. She's another one of those people who is just like new. Like she went pro in 2024
Yeah.
or 23 and then made it to the Olympia that same year and then didn't make it last year and qualified at the end of the year for this 2020. So I think it's still just figuring that kind of stuff out.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Agree. Agree. Wish that were me. Okay. So, but yeah, I'm with you. I think a happy medium between the two foot positions would be spot on for her.
And the green is so much better than the blue.
Yes, I love the green. I
I
love the
do too.
green. Yeah. Love the green. Okay. Chantel, I wrote so balanced and incredible. This is
Yeah.
Chantel.
I just still think she's leaning back in her front pose.
Yeah, I think you could be right about that too. I also wonder if it's like she just like has a lot of projection in her lats, but I see what you mean. Like I think there were points where she was leaning back.
Yeah, like she has such great core control though that it's not looking like she's flaring her ribs at all, and I love the purple suit.
Me
The
too.
purple suit with her dark hair is really cool. I've never seen her on stage either, so this is cool for me.
Oh
But
yeah, she has she always, not always, but she often does like kind of a pastelly shade like this. Like she has done Tricot Aquamarine, which I will pull up right now, which also looked really pretty on her. Yeah, I agree. I really like the iris. Okay, just so you have something to look at. Her back pose, I think she could use a little more like it's kind of flattening here, so I think she's sitting into her hip. Um, I think
I
she's sitting
think,
into her hip and it's causing flattening, and I would like to see just some more development.
yeah, I was gonna say we're kind of losing some hamstring
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yeah, agree. And then if we
Let's see
look
the
at,
back pose.
okay, yeah, let's see the back pose. Long insertions. I would like some straighter arms, but that's my only thing. Hair looks great.
Not all of them are in their back poses right now.
Oh, do you want to see all of them in the back pose?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do. Yeah, I think the proportion Nade has in her back pose is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wish that Chantel's arms were the same distance as Nade's are.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, sliding those hands down more so we minimize some of this. And it also, because she's already a taller competitor, so she is always going to be at a little bit of a risk of looking skinny. So when
Yeah.
her arms are out like this, it makes her, it reads a little more as, I hate to say skinny because obviously she's not skinny. Like she's very muscular. But it reads as that to me.
As a fellow tall girl, I understand.
Yes, shout out tall girls.
As
And
a
then,
fellow tall girl who is not yet a pro,
yes.
I can only
Um,
dream to have the development she has right now.
yeah, for real. I'm
Oh
with, okay,
yeah.
is this better? I mean, can
Mhm.
you see this?
Yeah, I
I
can.
loved when she wore this color.
Honestly, I like the purple more.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, you rejecting a green.
I know.
Okay.
I don't even recognize myself right now.
Yeah, I don't either. You've changed for sure. Okay, stop sharing. Okay, share again. I'm gonna share again. Okay, window. This one. Share. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, and moving on. So we have, okay, Nade, we talked about her, we talked about Chantel. Okay, let's move on to our next first look. Oh, and what a first look it was. Okay, so in here are two people that I'm looking at are Alexis and Alice. What are your thoughts? What are your notes telling you?
Yeah, Alice in green. I hope she never changes her suit color. I wish she would straighten her arm a little bit, like the extended straight arm. It's a little bit too bent for me. But girl, her stage presence is off the charts.
Yeah.
I think Lexus looks really happy. Like I love seeing that like energy glow. They both have it, especially standing next to each other too. I don't know. From this front pose, I think Lexus maybe needs a little bit more glute development. But I didn't really have any like notes on her. I think with Alice, some of the time I felt like she could turn her shoulders to be more straight on. And again, stage awareness. When she was doing comparisons, she was like ahead of people. She was further back than people. But those are just like really minor because she's great.
Yeah, we're obviously upset. And you're like, they're so close. And I'm like, "Ugh, imagine if they were in love. And I got excited. Um, okay. I'm with you on, yeah, in the walk to the back, she was like a step back further forward than other people. And she is like, even though she's tall, she has more of a petite frame.
Yeah.
So did that hurt her a ton? Probably no, but it is no, like of note. Um, okay, yeah. So what I had written about Lexus was that her back pose stood out. So I'll show you her back pose. Her back pose stood out as like very full, like very hourglass. I would like to see a little more heart shape in the suit right there, but no biggie.
Yeah. We're
Um,
losing that like roundness in her front pose.
yeah,
Like it's almost like her quads are overpowering her glutes in the front pose.
yeah, That's what I had too. That her leg looks a similar width to her glute, so we
Yeah,
need some more development. And also when she walked to the back, it looked like there was a little bit of sloping off in the glutes. Um, so if she built that, it would help her back pose and her front pose.
I have dreams about her delts.
Me
Those
too.
are amazing.
Me too. Yeah, I'm totally with you. Um, okay, Alice. I wrote unreal, gratefulness. Sometimes she rounds her arms, so same thing you said. Great presence, bursting full.
Yeah,
So Ari won, but I had Alice winning. And I'm
yeah.
eager for the scorecards to come out. And I wonder, ooh, okay, I didn't screen. We can watch, I'll watch back the live because they might say it was a 1 point difference or something. But I had Alice winning because she was like bursting full, incredible balance, incredible stage presence, and everything looks equally as developed as each other. It's not like she has one body part that is lagging. Like she looked very, very good. So these two
I
were
agree.
both in the top five. Um, really great, like projection in these glutes. Her upper outer glutes did not budge when she was walking to the back. Yeah,
I
I had
think this is
Alice
a
winning the
good.
show.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I was just going to say, I think this is a really cool example of someone who's slightly more conditioned and someone who's slightly softer,
Hmm.
still comparing well next to each other. Because you can see that there's a little bit more lines in Alice's hamstrings and calves,
Hmm.
but it's not like so far in that direction that it's not the bikini criteria.
Yeah.
But with Lexus, I don't know, maybe her feedback was that she needs to come in a little bit tighter. But I think if she did, like, would we potentially be seeing like too many lines in her hamstrings and that wouldn't be what they're going for?
Exactly. Yeah. I am looking forward to hearing if she like shares her feedback because I'm totally with you. It could certainly go either way. Like she has really great roundness and pop in these hamstrings too that like flows really beautifully into her glutes. So if she got
Yeah.
tighter, would it be like would she lose some of that wow factor from the back? And this was her first show since Olympia 2023. So I'm eager to see like what changes she makes in the meantime.
Yeah, what a comeback.
What a comeback. Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, so now we get to call outs. So let me just pull up our first call out here. Oh, okay. My
Oh, was this the when your computer ran out of storage?
yes. Yes. That was when tragedy struck. Okay. Um oh, and looky here. I'm struggling to be able to open this one. Sad. Okay. Not ideal. I will say it's not ideal. Oh, you're frozen.
No.
Oh, okay. You're not frozen anymore. Okay. Thank
I'm
God.
just stoic.
Oh, okay. You're just stoic. Love. Okay. Um, Browser needs screen sharing permission. What should I do? It says. Okay. Well, that's weird because it just had
It
permission.
needs permission. Can you tell it yes? I want you to share.
Oh, well, I tried. Window. Okay. Am I able to pull this one up again? Oh, okay. That's weird. That's weird. Okay, well, we kind of went into everyone's physiques, so maybe it's fine. But I
Um,
wrote, okay, so the first call out,
Go.
okay, the first call out was Alice, Rachel, Lexus, Chantel, Marioli, Ariel, Liz, and Ari. Everyone was like the same heights. Like it looked like I was looking at a national show lineup. Because it looked like I was looking at all Class H girls or something.
I know it was my favorite part about this show. Actually,
Yeah. Yeah, it
it's
was awesome.
very rare, like in the short time that I've been in the sport. I
Hmm.
have not ever seen that where it's been mostly tall women and not like 5'1" to 5'3", which is what I
Hmm.
think you see more frequently. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Hmm.
Maybe that's a false assumption, but as a tall person, it was really cool to see
Yeah,
tall pros all on the
I
same stage.
totally agree. All standing on the same stage. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I'm able to pull up the show. Okay, that is
Oh, good.
finals. So, okay, this is great.
I thought they
Um,
all compared really well from the back. Like that's in bold here.
oh yeah, they compare both of them back. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so I have Ari and Ariel split center for a while. Then Ariel was moved out. Ari was a less, I mean, Ariel, yeah. Oh, Ariel was a less full, but she did a good job walking to the back because her glutes still stayed as full as they could. And then also, yeah, Ari's waist was tighter than Ariel's. And then they moved Allison and Ariel out. I wrote Alice is my winner. Ari is a little fuller, but I think Alice retains most of the lines while bursting full and having better balance. And Ari's M's don't look as balanced. Oh, I don't know what I meant. In the front pose as her upper body. That's what I wrote. Okay, you keep talking, so I'm going to try to log into Center Podium really quick.
Okay. Did it log you out? Because I tried to log back in to it.
Maybe. I'm not sure. Well, it might just not let me, like, access this, Okay, so since it's alive, I can't rewind, I guess. Okay.
I think
So
with
sorry about that,
Ariel,
guys.
what I have written down for her in the first call out note was to maybe twist her stomach away from the judges slightly. But it's hard because she's really broad up top. And that wouldn't really like alleviate the leaning back sensation that I was noticing. Yeah, I think if she, I don't know, maybe it's a limitation with lower back mobility, and that's the issue. But lower tummy control and twisting stomach away from the judges were the two things that I had for her in the first call out notes. And then, yeah, that was it.
Okay. Okay, yeah. And then second call, it was Kiki, Jessica, Ilaria, Ina, Hope, Emma, Nade, and Nicolette. Oh, okay, maybe that girl's name is Nicolette, who I couldn't figure it out. And I wrote she has a
Oh,
great
the one
front
in the
pose.
teal suit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then who ended up winning? It went Ari, Alice, Ariel, Lexus, Ilaria, Chantel. So, like I said earlier, Ilaria was second call out in after like an 8-person first call out and then 8-person second call out, and then she moved all those other girls out, 4 of those top 8, like in the initial call out, and then got 5th place. So that was incredible.
Yeah, she looked really good. Her
Yeah,
individual
agree.
routine was really polished too.
Yeah, I am totally with you there. Um, okay, so that is girl power. Shall we move on to Wasatch?
Oh, I thought you were gonna share the live stream again.
It won't let me. Now it's loading, so I'm thinking we should stop this recording and then I will stitch the 2 recordings together.
Okay.
Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm stopping this recording and we will resume momentarily. Okay, we are back with part 2. Chelsie, you're still frozen on my end, but I'm usually when I like export these, then it's fine. So I think we're
Oh.
good. Okay,
Well, you're
so
not
let's talk
frozen
about
on mine.
Wasatch. I am?
You're not.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, so Wasatch. It just wrapped up. We just looked up the results in between this, so we have our winners. But okay, so the winners, it goes like this. And it was all perfect scores on the scorecard. I wish that girl power scorecards were up, but here's how it went. Emmy wins, Brianna is second, Jordan third, Peyton Hutton fourth, Tiana Weymouth fifth, and then Jessica Neary at her pro debut is sixth. So
Wow.
let's get into this. Oh, and then I'll just keep telling you, Chelsie, because you'll care about everyone will, but you will too. Savannah seventh, Carly is eighth. So yeah.
8th at a pro
Okay.
debut too. That's pretty good.
Yes. That's fierce.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Okay. So okay, I am able to pull up this window. This window. Okay. So here is Wasatch. Can you see that, Chelsie?
I can.
Awesome. And you are no longer, you're no longer static for me. Okay, so,
Okay.
yes!
I've broken through.
You are always breaking barriers. Okay, so Wasatch. I wrote Carly in her front pose needs more shoulder. Her shoulders are also tilted. And again, the reason I'm talking about these people is these are the people who placed in like first and second callouts. I'm not just trying to like pick on random people. I know I don't point at everyone, but so just so you know, that's what I'm doing. So Carly's shoulders were sloping to the side, so relax that arm a little bit. And I was thinking that about, I think Chantel, her hand was up a little higher on her hip too, so
Yeah.
run back the tape and insert that in there. I want her hand to go a little bit lower. Um,
Good thing this
so
is
yeah,
both
that
in
is
the
good.
same video.
A good thing it's in the same video and you can run this back. As long as I figure out how to stitch it together.
You got it.
So thank you. But Carly was a standout to me. Her upper body just looked like it needs a little more size. She came in really hard, and I think that's because not really hard, but like harder than who's winning. And it's simply she needs a little more density and size overall. As Chelsie, you told me yesterday, she has got brain surgery last year, so it's incredible she came in with this amount of muscle and conditioning anyway.
No, it
Um,
was considered a brain surgery, but it was like a hole in her inner ear, like the bone um,
mhm.
in her skull. She went through like a very detailed explanation of what she was experiencing and how she got diagnosed with it. So go to her Instagram
Oh
because
yeah, go to her Instagram.
she talks about it.
Go you, Carly. The suit top, it also looks a little shallow. Lacey Rutland does the same thing where it's like a little and I hate to say this, I am a small boobed woman myself, but a little more fullness, it does make you look more balanced. Unfortunately, it's just how the game is played. So I would like some more fullness in that suit top. And probably even a bigger size because she is taller, so she has more of like space anyway.
I don't
A
even
bigger
know
suit
if
top
it's
and
like a
stuffing it.
bigger size, but just wider. Like, is this because we were talking about suit tops earlier today and
Hmm.
how some of the older styles of the Toxic Angels molded tops were more wide than they were long, but this seems to be the opposite now, where it's like skinnier but longer, so the teardrop shape comes up higher on your chest than it used to.
So this is a standard cup. This is not a molded cup.
Okay.
She needs more fullness, like stuffing in it,
Oh, that's
and a
fair.
bigger size.
Okay, just
Yeah.
for
So
comparison's sake and to educate the people like me who are not as familiar with
mhm.
this. So Jordan is wearing a molded top.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
there you go, people.
Um,
Molded
and
versus unmolded.
yeah, and her top is more narrow, so you see more side boob. I prefer the look of the standard suit top because it gives you better coverage and better shape. I have a molded top. I wore a molded top last season, and I do not love how it turned out because I got more side boob, and it kind of cuts you off in a way that gives you odd lines that just are too harsh. Like these tops ride the physique better. Like these look more feminine if we're talking in the binary in that way. They look more
Hmm.
feminine. Um so yeah,
Now I'm like
suit
wondering
top.
what I have. I could have sworn that I had a molded top.
And then in her back pose, again,
Sorry.
a little more shoulders. Glutes look really full. I'm just gonna talk while you do your little research. Oh, okay. This video of Girl Power finally opened up. Okay, so you can see this was the first call out.
Wait,
Um,
Sam, you're gonna need to cut this out. Is
oh,
this a
okay.
molded top?
Wait. Um, I don't know how to cut things out. Oh, is that a molded top?
Yeah.
It looks like a molded top.
Okay. But I'm not. Maybe it's because I don't have fake boobs, but I'm not getting side boob.
You don't have that big of boobs, Chelsea.
No. Okay.
You're not gonna get side boob. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just trying to understand like the standard top like you're talking about though, because I don't know if I've ever like held one in person. That's why I'm so
Okay.
caught up on this. So thank you for. Sorry to derail.
No, so you can just see it visually. You don't need to hold one to be able to like tell. Like you can just see it's wider. Like this
That's
is
true.
wider than that.
Okay. I just honestly thought that the standard top was like a completely different cut. Like that's what it looks like to me, is that it's a completely
It is a
different cut
different
than
cut.
molded.
It's
Okay.
wider
Okay.
and like proportionally as tall.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, the molded cups from Toxic are taller and more narrow.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, okay. And then girl power. Oh, you guys couldn't even see my screen when I was. Well, okay, you pulled up something I have to cut out anyway, so never mind. Okay. Um,
Sorry.
no, you're okay. You're totally good. So then in the back pose, just a little imbalance from top to bottom, needs more size up top. Um, and then Brianna, she came in second to Emmy at San Diego and did again today. Um, Fullness looked way better. She wasn't as like noticeably vascular as she was at the last one. Like she came in really on point. Um, yeah, loved her what I read about her back pose. Oh, okay. And since we have Jordan here, um, I didn't get very much pop in the shoulders and differentiation between the rest of the arm. Lower body looked really good. And looking at this again, Chelsie, I agree, a little bit too much bend in the knee. Um, and then when she was walking, when she does her individual routine,
Hmm.
you can see that her triceps go they go wild. So when she starts walking, you don't get much pop in the shoulders, but you get a lot of like pop in the triceps. So that was a lacking for me
I know.
in
I don't think
her
I've ever seen
back
that on
pose.
her either. Like she's always had very full shoulders.
Her pop is better. I had to write down my notes. Oh. When I was screen recording, it also recorded my audio. So that was in real time what I was thinking. Um, at Charlotte, it was the same thing. So, like, the
Oh,
last two
interesting.
shows,
Okay.
she's coming with softer conditioning.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't have a
okay,
chance to
so,
watch Charlotte. I forgot she did another show before this.
mhm.
Um,
She had better pop here than she did at Charlotte.
okay.
But
Interesting. I
to
wonder what's
me,
going on.
yeah, well, to me, I think it's just an imbalance. Like, I don't know what the imbalance is, but like, she is not matching from top to bottom or front to back for me. So, like, in her front pose, for instance, we're not getting as much pop in the shoulder as we're getting in this lower body.
Yeah.
Um, and then her front is a lot more conditioned, not as significantly as it was like at previous shows where she's really hard in the lower body and like
Yeah.
the vascular in the shoulders. But when she turns to the back, she's really full, but now top and bottom aren't matching because she doesn't have that pop in her shoulders. And then front to back are matching because she has more bubbly conditioning in the back. What do you think?
No, I actually agree with you. I understand. She had mentioned in a podcast with Sean that she prefers the harder look on her,
Hmm.
and I actually understand why. Like seeing this now, I do think that she looks more balanced when she's harder. But I know previously she was talking about like her waist having to get bigger so that she could like grow bigger glutes. And I'm wondering if they pulled back on like shoulder training at all to try to like figure out that balance, and now we're
Hmm.
just seeing like another in between of maybe she's still trying to figure that out. But this time, like this is the fullest and like softest that I've ever seen her on stage, and I
Hmm.
think it's doing well for her. I do just wonder like what is causing that imbalance and if they can figure it out before the Olympia comes.
I agree. I'm totally with you. Like this, I think is probably one of Jordan's best looks. My favorite look on her is probably Legion last year.
Yeah.
And she grew significantly in between then and Olympia and then Olympia to now. Um, I think this is Jordan's best hair, makeup, posing she's ever had. So like I always am kind of I feel bad because I feel like I'm like picking on Jordan with her posing because it usually looks like a little too thought out, a little forced. But this was the most at ease and smooth that I've seen her footwork and her body movements. It didn't look as much like she's checking things off the list as it
I
has in the
agree
past.
1000%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thrilled. And the makeup, I would like to see it up close, but this is the makeup that I was describing in my last video that I mean actually I can't see how warm tone the eye is, but like just visually she's not looking as like oh, the amount of brightness in the inner corner in the waterline last time were giving like deer in the headlights, not because she looks like deer in the headlights, but because like, it's so bright.
No, I
This is
agree.
awesome.
I agree. I like I like everything right now. Her tan looks better too.
Yeah.
I know in some of the previous shows, I'm just such a hand and foot person when it comes to like stage presence stuff and tanning. But previously, I've noticed that Jordan's had like whiter feet and whiter hands and whiter feet. Like she had purposely not tanned herself there. And the top coat that's being applied wasn't enough to like blend it all the way. But we're not seeing that at this show, which I think is amazing. She fixed it.
Yeah, and I think part of that is probably, I don't know if she gets sprayed or not, but I know Fit Body is usually like, and you're on Fit Body, so you can tell me, they usually are pretty encouraging of the DIY tan.
I wonder if it's one of those things where she does the DIY at shows where Protan is not the sponsored tanning company, because Wasatch does bring Protan in. So I'm wondering if at this show she actually got sprayed because Protan's team was there.
She's a liquid sunrays athlete.
I know, but she
So,
talks about the Protan
does she?
DIY all the time, I think.
Oh,
I don't know,
okay.
maybe I'm misremembering.
Well, okay, either way.
I know Sean is a liquid sunrays person.
Okay, I thought Jordan has been too. But either way, what I'm getting at is that when you do the DIY tan, a lot of times people will go lighter on their hands and feet because they can look so like messed up. So
Yeah,
if that's the case, I assume those people are like maybe doing most of the tan themselves and then getting evened out by the sprayers if they get sprayed by sprayers at all.
that's a
Okay.
good point.
And
Okay, so really quick, just to clarify, I'm pretty sure she is a Protan athlete now because it's in her bio on Instagram.
oh, okay. Solved. Love us
Also,
though.
I know people are probably like, why are you talking so long about Jordan? We know a lot about her, I guess. We
Yeah,
listen
because
to the
yeah,
podcast a
we
lot.
love the pod.
She's amazing. Yeah, but also like Team Fit Body Fusion, so
Yeah. Love the pod. And also, like, she's someone who was in that conversation for getting a top 10, and she competes pretty frequently. So
yeah.
we have, like, a lot of data on Jordan. Like, we have seen her looks throughout the years. It's not like an Ariel where I thought she had just, okay, Ariel's not a good example because she's competed a bunch of times, apparently, as a pro. But it's not like, Nade where she hasn't competed that, okay, also not a good example. Who doesn't compete that much? Whatever.
No, but
It's
we're
not like a
fine
pro.
examples because I feel like they're not maybe as vocal as
Yeah.
Jordan is about sharing her experience, and I just think it's so valuable. Like I wish more people talked about it.
Me too. And I think Jordan has had one of the biggest evolutions in her physique,
A thousand
because
percent.
she went to the Olympia her first year turning pro, and she's grown a lot and like pulled back on certain things and then increased certain things like muscularity wise. So it's a lot of like little changes, and since she competes so much, it's just a lot of data from her talking, her showings, and the amount she's changed. So that's why.
Yeah.
Um,
And we're totally fangirling about all the pros on stage this
Yeah,
weekend. So.
live for it. And
Anyway.
then, okay, so now we have Peyton and Savannah. So Savannah has not competed since Olympia 2023. Um, she looked like the arm was a little overpowering. I would just like to see that waist come in, bring the arm down a little bit, and bring up the glute a little bit. And then Peyton, best core control she's had in a while. That and front pose, like her front pose used to be a little more extreme. So I'll pull that up, but let's look at their back poses really quick. So she's not totally angled like where we'd want to see Savannah is. I want to see the hair off of the shoulders. It's making her upper body look dominant. I want to see it all on her back. And Peyton looks very poppy. What's your take?
I think Peyton's makeup was the best of the
Mm,
day,
yeah.
personally. But also, I agree with everything you said. I don't have anything more to add. I've never seen Peyton compete before. So it was really cool to see like her stage presence and the individual routine because I think it was really polished. And I thought she placed, what was her placing again?
Um,
Was it, was it third or fourth?
fourth. It was fourth, yes.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay. And then she did compete at San Diego this year. It was her first time in a while. She's been to the Olympia before, but I think it was like in the 2016 era-ish. Let me share my screen with you so you can see um this photo of her. Okay, I want to see NPC. Okay. Can you... Okay, so this is what I mean when I say her pose was a little more extreme in the past. So let's find her landing in the
already
front pose.
lower belly control, like core
Yes.
control overall is a billion times better than, and this was just a few months ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's way better. Her waist looks tighter, and she's like really pushed back in that hip. So the pose between then and now has like totally changed. It looks
This
really
is
good.
such a cool transformation. Bravo.
Bravo. Okay. Okay, so there's that. And then what else did I have? Okay, Peyton, we have. Okay, is that everything? Okay, now we have our next call out. So Emmy is in this call out. I don't know why I'm emphasizing call out in that way. Okay, tell me your thoughts.
Okay. Honestly, Emmy steals the show. I do think that the bright pink, I cannot remember people's names very well. The
Jessica,
bright
pro
Jessica.
debut.
Oh, okay. Well, for a pro debut, she did amazing. I really like this pink color. But Emmy, I think she just has this like soft confidence. She also looks happy being there. And I think that she looks really balanced from top to bottom. Like I understand why she won. Um, that's pretty much all I have right now. I think when we go to the back pose, I'll have some other things to say. But for now, great balance.
Agree. Agree. Emmy really did steal the show. Jessica, I thought, for Emmy, I wrote balance and fullness were totally on point. Hair, makeup, suit, always great. She was doing a little too much in her posing for me. It was
Yeah.
a lot of like arms and then looking at her arm, making an adjustment, moving her arm, looking at her arm again. It was just too much for me.
Yeah.
Um, Jessica, I thought looked really good. It's gonna be about streamlining. Her leg is looking a little squatty to me. Not that she's squatting, but it's just like more stout and like uh I was gonna say bulbous and I was gonna say jugular, which neither like I mean jugular certainly like does not make sense. But just a little bit dense. Dense is the word I'm looking
No,
for.
I'm wondering if this is another scenario where she could just point her toe forward a little bit and actually like her bent leg knee, if she points it forward a little bit more, I wonder if that would be a streamlining opportunity. Also, now that I'm looking at it, her waist kind of looks wide here. Like I think just a few adjustments in her front pose, not necessarily like bringing her back shoulder back more, but bringing her front hip forward a little bit more and making those tiny tweaks with her feet.
Yeah, I think definitely the back knee thing could angle more at the judges. The waist, it looks like she is getting a little bit ribby, like maybe she's not pulling in and up.
I could see
And
that.
then the toe, she does have a 45-degree angle, so any more I would think would be only quad. I think it's just like her conditioning is a little bit hard.
I see that.
Um, and then Tiana, she got so here's where is she? Oh, she's not in this
Ayana
call.
was
My
in the
bad.
last call out.
Okay. Sorry, comparison round. Oh, Erica Kerwald, we can't really see her very well, but I think she has a great look. It's just going to be more density all over. Um, Jessica, yeah, great pop and fullness, conditioning a little hard and a little dense in the quad. And I thought purple suit Jasmine Lucas looked really good. But looking at her now, in the back pose, she was losing a little bit on the shoulders for me. And now that I look at the front pose again, she does need to develop those shoulders a little bit further.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you
Um,
to see the back pose.
mhm. And Erica, like really beautiful conditioning, just needs some more size. Emmy, excellent conditioning. Really everything is spot on. I don't really have anything to say. And Jessica, I thought this back pose was very spot on. It's the front that I had some issues with.
Yeah, I think so too. Because we're not seeing that like stoutness in her lower body from the back.
Yeah, agree.
I do think Emmy has like the classic tie-in that we're used to seeing on like the Olympia stage.
Hmm.
And when we go to the, hopefully if we're not doing this, that's fine. But if we can go to the first call out, that was where I had like most of my comments on the back poses. Just because it's a cool example of like how people's tie-ins can look different.
Yeah, yeah. And I have that, so we will look at it.
Cool.
Tiana, back pose, elbows a little pointy for me. Density in the glutes lacking a little bit. She did get in that top 6, I believe.
Yeah.
Um,
She
And
was
yeah,
fifth. She came in fifth.
she came in fifth. Okay, yeah, so she came in fifth. What is all this? Okay, that's so I'll have to really do some editing so I can detail it. This might not come out till tomorrow, actually. Okay, and then front pose, or sorry, not front pose, call outs. So here's our first call out. Notice it's a big show, but it wasn't that deep. So we only had 6 people in this call out instead of like 8, which is something we're seeing pretty often recently. I think Gilco zooms in at one point. Yeah, okay. So here's our
Yeah.
top 6. And then what I wrote, in the individuals I wrote Jordan best. I talked about that already. Brianna I wrote hair, makeup, suit is very cunty. Conditioning is awesome, great balance. Carly I already said that stuff. Savannah needs more glutes. Okay, so first call out we have Peyton stage awareness. I wrote that. Jordan best look, but triceps were standing out. And then Jordan was moved out, and Emmy and Brianna were moved to split center. And I thought Brianna was more complete than Jordan, and that's why she was moved out because conditioning everywhere matched, front and back matched pretty well. Maybe a little bit harder in the front, like in that lower body, but her back pose, everything was very cohesive. And yeah, I wrote Brianna and Jordan are both missing things, but Jessica. Oh yeah, and I just described what they were missing, and then mentioned that Brianna and Emmy were top 2 at San Diego. So this is a repeat of a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to add? My bad.
No, I think Jordan was not hitting her front pose the same way in this comparison that she was the entire first half of the show, which I thought was kind of interesting. But from the back, this is what I was talking about with Emmy's tie-ins. Like, we're seeing more of an elongation, but I think Brianna and Jordan, like, compare well next to each other.
Agree.
I know that you and I both thought that Tiana came in pretty soft, and I'm curious to know if that's, like, her feedback. And overall muscle size, I think she still needs when you put her in. But, I mean, she's getting top 4, so yeah. I don't really know how much you can say there.
No, totally. And her feedback, what her coach said last season is that her quads were a little too dense and they needed to bring up glutes. And maybe if she gets tighter, we will see that she brought up her glutes significantly, but to be honest, and I hate saying this because it really sucks to, like, take an improvement season and then feel like you haven't moved the dial that much or moved the needle that much, but it doesn't look like there's been much of a difference in the size of the glutes unless she gets tighter and we are able to see. But the issue the issue last year is that she was too dense in the quad, like a lot of detail there. So I wonder if her coach brought her in a little bit softer for that reason.
I would probably guess that. I mean, I know it sucks to say. Like, I was kind of feeling underwhelmed when I saw her come out for her individual routine. And maybe this is just because, like, Instagram is like a smoke and mirror. Like, you're only seeing the angles that we want to show. But she's holding her own up there. So, yeah. I mean, I do think that the softness...
Holding her own. It's like you were just like, good job, big guy. You'll get him next time. You know what? She's doing her best, and I appreciate her passion.
They all are. I do think she did bring down her quads, though.
Yeah. Like, it looks like to me, it looks like her legs are great. It's just a matter of bringing everything else up to match them almost.
I agree.
Because I don't think her legs are, like, significant, and they have a little more body fat on them right now. So I think if she got leaner, her legs would be very comparable to, like, what we're seeing on the Olympia stage size-wise. But it's just that everything else has to come up to match them at this point.
I agree. Like, I think we would be having a completely different conversation if her shoulders were slightly more prominent.
Yeah, and it almost looks like her shoulders kind of, like, hunched forward a little bit. Like, I want her to open up through the chest more. Do you see that?
Well, I'm wondering if that's a symptom of what's happening with the closeness and why I wish that the expediter would have moved them out more, because, like, Peyton and Tiana are basically holding hands right now. So,
and you know I love that. You know, I would love to see sparks fly on a bikini stage. Um, let's look at if she did it in her
Oh, and her
individual.
individual. Yeah,
Oh,
let's
I
go.
might have even like looked at a different screen. I really should stop doing this because I think I'll need to edit stuff out in my email. Stop
Probably.
sharing. Okay. Okay. It's fine. Okay, I might have been doing something else when she was doing her posing routine.
I wonder, because
Oh,
Gilco was doing Wasatch, I wonder if it's on Instagram already.
oh, you know what? I'm sure it is. Okay, now I'm just serving dead air. Love that.
I know, and the conversation is
Yeah, okay, I don't have it. I'll just admit it. I don't have it.
okay. You
Okay.
tried. You
I
tried your
tried.
best. There was a lot happening during this live stream.
There was. I was struggling.
I mean,
Okay,
so
and
was
girl
I.
power final results aren't out yet, but yeah. Okay, well, I honestly think that's everything.
I think so too.
Congrats to Emmy, doubly Olympia qualified,
Yep.
and Ariana qualified again, third year in a row.
I know. It was cool. This is fun.
This is fun.
I have
Um,
homework to do, and next time we have a chat, hopefully I can recall some of the historical data.
yeah, recall some of the historical, and you pulled up your notes. You pulled up the records, the records.
True.
Yeah,
If you have any comments to leave for us, leave them.
I would love a comment.
And
And specifically comment about how much you appreciate me editing when I dox myself in my emails.
exactly, redact the information that is necessary. Also, like Sam's video, comment down below, subscribe to her channel so you could get more of Sam and maybe me if she invites me back.
I obviously will.
Yeah, and thank you for watching.
Thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye. Oh, concession for all.